Therapy RB. Let's be welcome to United Real Therapy. I don't know why I'm muting myself. Hey, the sun's got to me, people. The sun's got to me. The sun has got to me. It's a bit sweaty box out here, people. How are we doing, Therapy Army? It's baking. It's baking in here. It's baking. It's sunny. It's beautiful, sunny in Manchester. I don't sign that often, but yeah, you know how it is. United not only broke, but it's broken thanks to these parasitic Glazer, 18 year of hell. Big up Stephanie Griffin, love her, like big up Ahmed, big up man, big up to everybody. Ahmed says, real talk, if Justin wants the crisis and trauma to end this football club, he will just say to the Glazers 6 billion, 1 billion to clear the debt, 7 billion to take it or leave it. That's all right. We only hope and pray, people. We hope and pray. We hope and pray, people. But hey, let's get into it. Big up Jarvis. Man like Jarvis, see? Man like Jarvis. Yeah, we got to do the show today, people. We've got a show on tomorrow night as well with my brother Nura Beats. So hopefully I'm going to get, maybe if Jarvis is about, we're going to get another Liverpool fan on there. So we're going to be 2 versus 2. Doing a little 10% preview of the season because 10% of the season's gone. But yeah, what's up, lads? We have this therapy each with each other. Shit, Jesus. Big up Dino. Dino, you've always got the therapy. Remember that we've always got each other. That's the way, pal. That's the message. That is the message. We got each other. And we got therapy, eh? We can let loose in here. It's all love. Big up, love and light, people. Actually, that was our best game of the season. I don't agree with you. That'll be a shock, Ian Fontaine. I don't disagree with you. I do not disagree with you. That was our best game, best performance of the season, which is saying a lot. We've still got smashed 3-1. But it is what it is. Big up Jarvis, man like Rick Astley. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Hey, you know it is, isn't it? Therapy's own Rick Astley. He's coming on. He'll be here. AKA Jarvis. Bowley. BOLE 77. Check him out, people. Check man like Jarvis. Like greedy shit Glazers. Hey, we're saying it. Big up, man. Big up. Big up Alien Tenno. Love. Big up, mate. Big up. Big up everybody. Every one of you in here. Smash a like on that video. Subscribe to the channel. By the way, people, we're 40 away. I think we're 40 away or we're 20 away from 8,000. So if you're not subscribed already, smash that subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button like your life depended on it, eh? It's the only place, the only therapy channel that you can come to. When Man United ruin your weekend, and when Manchester United are an absolute crisis, we're a club in the El Mudo. We're in the mud, people. We're still, you know what? We're in that mud. We're stuck in the mud. You know that? You know what they're called? You know, sand sinking. When you sink in that sand, we're in one of those. We're trying to get out. We're trying to get out. Things can only get better. They can only get better. I'm remixing early 90s classic dance tunes, mate. Manchester is a city of dance culture, of acid house, house music. You know what I mean? Not a bit of northern soul in there as well. We've got that, people. So we've got to turn to music. So, you know what? We're definitely living on a prayer. We're living on a prayer. Whoa, whoa. We're not halfway there, people. We're not halfway there. We're stuck at the bottom. Tom, I've sent you the link, lad. If you're about, jump on. Jarvis is jumping on. I've sent you the link. Club's in the mud, people. We're in the mud, but you know what? We've got each other. Let me just get to that. That's the best comment of the night already. Let me get to that, brother, here. Dino. There we go. There's only one Dino. Surname is Patanovic. Dino Patanovic there. Big up, brother. That is the truest words ever spoken. There we go. There we go. There we go, people. There we go. It is what it is. It is what it is, honestly. The only thing that's been keeping me cheerful, I'm not going to lie to you, it's baking in money. It's absolutely baking. It's hot out here. It's absolutely like shorts weather. You know what I mean? Flip-flop massive. You know what I mean? One of the things you recognize being a Mancunian is that flip-flop FC. Soon as the temperature, like if it's a 13 or 14, if you're in Manchester, you don't get the flip-flops. I get those shorts on. And you're like that in the sun. Get that top up and you're like, come on, bring it on. It is, man. It is. Honestly, it is. That's how it is. But it's been baking and it's been beautiful because we had one of the worst Julys ever. It was a washout. July was an absolute washout. And August felt like October. So, yeah, climate crisis, people. Climate crisis is real. It's absolutely real. Big up to Neil Driscoll, mate. Big up Neil Driscoll. Big up to Alien Tenno and everybody else. Haroon is in here. Yes, Mundo. I've invited him. I've invited our Mundo. I've invited our Irfan. They must be just enjoying the baking weather. They must be basking in it. Rather than come talk about depressing Manchester United, they might be out and about. You know what I mean? In this late summer, well, hot weather evening in September. Big up to all those that went back to school. Big up all those that have gone back to university. Big up all the workers, man. Love and light. We always solidarity with striking workers as well. Always. On this channel, class struggle is real. It's real. So we always stand in solidarity with people from everywhere, every corner of this planet, with every persuasion, whether it's gender, orientation. We stand with humanity, people. We're only human. We're only human after all. Well, the United fans are thinking, we're only United fans after all. We're only United fans after all, people. We're remixing. This is the remix tonight. We're calling this the remix show. Honestly, that's what we are. We are only United fans after all, people. What the Glazers have done to this football club, honestly. I always say, you know what, we can't really blame the players too hard because players don't sign themselves. We don't blame managers because managers don't hire themselves. Players don't buy themselves. So all the time, we have to hate the Glazers. We try not to hate too much of the managers. People can criticize managers. People can criticize players. But hatred, no. I'm against hatred of players. The only people that we hate is the Vultures, mate. And everybody knows who they are. The Glazers. The Glazers. Toasting here in Chester. Hey, that Alien Tenno. He's cooking in here. He's cooking. He's absolutely cooking in there. Wow, toasty. It's getting toasty. Big up. Nuruddin says, big up. Kaniki says, Nuruddin, when you should start blaming Pogba and Fred. There we go, eh? Is it Pogba and Fred tonight? No, he ain't. Yeah, big up Tom. Love and light. Rick Astley is here. Hey, Rick Astley, hey, listen, we got a musical show tonight. Remember that 90s classic? Remember that night? What was it? I was just singing it before. It was Always Look on the Bright Side. That's been Manchester United soundtrack for the past decade. Things can only get better. They can only get. There we go. I know we're singing. Always look on the bright side of life. Hey, it's therapy music tonight, people. Therapy music. Let's think about the songs. That's it. Let's get it in the chat, people. Songs to uplift Manchester United. So I was singing "We're Only Human," but you know we're only human after all. But you know what, Mr. AKA Rick Astley, AKA Rick Astley, Jarvis Bowley, BOLE 77. You know what, brother?
Yes.
We are what we are. We're only United fans after all. We're only United fans after all.
Yeah,
We are.
what to say about what's going on in the last couple of days? It's been shambling. Everything has been a mess. We have the Sancho, we have Anthony, we have the Glazers, we have everything in a big mix. And it didn't
Talk to me,
used to be
Jarvis.
this way.
Talk to me.
I'm an old man. I'm in my 40s, and it didn't used to be this way. United was the best club when it came to everything. There was nothing going on in this club. Alex Ferguson was keeping it, keeping everything tight, and no one messed with us. We could put our chest out and be Man United fans, but now you feel like when you tell people what club do you follow, Man United, because yeah, it
No,
feels like that.
no,
I'm,
Jarvis. I get what I
I'm,
say it with
I'm
my
proud. I'm
chest.
proud of my club, but I'm not proud of what the club has become and
Yeah.
represent at the moment.
Because you know why? We support the history, the team, what we were. The Vultures one day will go. The Vultures are gonna go one day. Whether maybe they might stay for another 20 years, whatever. But the Vultures one day will go. So the football club will go back to being a football club. But guys, we are, I think, 20 or 30 short of 8,000 tonight. Let's see if we can get to 8,000 while we're live. You deserve it. You deserve it, people. You deserve it. This is the therapy show. Save me, I say. We've not seen. There's only one. Save me, I say.
Yes,
There's only one. Save me, I say. There's only one. Save me, I say. Me, I say was on this channel repeatedly last year, telling me and every other United fan they were going to win the league. He ran off, didn't he? He did a boycott, didn't he? He boycotted the channel after they didn't win the league. But hey, congratulations to Saka. Bakiko, is it? How do you say his first name? But anyway, Saka, nominated for Ballon d'Or, is better than no. See, saying the first bit of your super chat is always reasonable. So you go with a fact, and then it's almost you get lost in that emotion and you run away with yourself. So Saka is nominated for Ballon d'Or. He's better than Mbappe. Nah, he's not better than Mbappe, but he's a very good player. And actually, we kept him really quiet on Sunday while you cheated, innit? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dalot had a great game against Arsenal. He actually kept Dalot. He actually kept Saka kind of neutral. He didn't do much. And the thing is, Saka is left-footed, playing on the right wing. He likes to cut in, and Dalot he's a right-footed left back. So
there you go.
It was a perfect match for Dalot. So it suited him well, and I give credit to Dalot. He I gotta say it because sometimes we dismiss him and think, Dalot, no, you're not good enough. But when he gets the chance, he steps up, and especially in big games, he's actually quite good. So I like the kid.
Yeah. Big up, Tom. I've sent it to you. I've sent you the link. DJ Paul, I'm looking at my DMs. I can't see it. I can't see your message. Just tag me in the tweet. Tag me in the tweet and I'll see it. Big up to everybody, though. No, 100%, I understand that. I thought he was one of our better players. On the ball, he wasn't that great. On the ball or the back, we were not great. We must be said. But by far, Jarvis, that was our best performance of the season. So that's why I wasn't too angry. Because actually, we looked like a team. We played with a bit more cohesion. You know what I mean? I was just looking at the referee, Like we always said, we did a show on Monday where we talked about VAR bottling it. And when it's bad decisions against Manchester United, it's like cricket. But when a bad decision goes in favour of Manchester United, in the UK, it's for a whole week and a half. It's a debate. It's a national debate. So we were calling out the Muppet journalists and their agenda. And it's simple, Jarvis, because Ferguson ruined majority of journalists now and producers on radio, newspapers, in British football media. Fergie ruined all their childhoods. Fergie ruined all their childhoods, and they can't take it. They can't take it. Big up, Tommy. Better watch out. Tommy's about. Hey, Tommy, where are we? Are we abroad or are we in the Seven Hills? And if it's so, is it bacon? Is it bacon?
Oh, mate, scorching. What do you mean?
Scorching. Those Seven Hills. Are we having it?
Listen, we've got the factor 13, haven't we? So we know how it's going. Yeah, we're in the Seven Hills. We're in the Seven Hills.
Wow. He's in the Seven Hills and he's got the fan on. Big up Saeed, man. Saeed in the chat there. 20 subscribers away from 8K. If you haven't, let's go. Big up Saeed TV, man. Make sure you check him out. across all social media. It's at ETV across all the socials, man. Make sure you check him out. Tommy, we're just talking about. So come on, soundtrack. Oh, my internet.
Soundtrack.
What's my internet doing? We sang. We've got like We're Only Human. We remixed We're Only Human. We remixed that. We're Only United fans. You know, I mean, that's what we've got now. We've got the classic Always Look on the Bright Side. We've got that great classic house track. Things can only get better. They can only get. So we got that on that classic. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not here for these songs, lads. I'm here for We Are the Champions. Where's that gone, guys? Not since 2013, is it?
Oh, my favourite at Old Trafford when we used to win the league, especially at Old Trafford. My favourite was Tina Turner. R.I.P. Tina Turner.
Yeah.
You're simply the best.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh.
Better than all the rest.
If you don't, people, if you haven't got some Tina Turner tracks in your life, I feel bad for you. Tina Turner was an absolute powerhouse of a performer. Somebody used to say the best legs in show business, mate. The best leg. That's what he used to be. But you know what? It wasn't. I was into her energy and voice. That's what I was into. But big up, there you go. Rick Astley is getting shouted at me. Go on. Give us a bit of a run. You're not letting Manchester United go. Go on.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna holler down and hurt you. I don't even know the lyrics.
Yes! Listen, you ain't getting this therapy anywhere else. I'm telling you. You've come to the right channel. You have come to the right channel. So give me some tunes, man. Give me what songs can lift the mood at Old Trafford. What can lift the fan base? Let's get in the comments, people. I want to know. Let's see what Same Ass has come back with. Big up to everybody, by the way. Love and like. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I'm going to start checking to see if people are subscribing because we've got 230 of you in here. Let's see if anybody's subscribed. If the needles moved at all. Let's have a look. We'll have a check. Mind you. We'll have a check, people. But big up to everybody. Before we get into the serious issues, big up the massive, big up the gang. Let's have a look. Ooh, we're not moved. We're still on there. 7.89. That's where we're on. Come on, massive. Let's be having you. But let's get into this, people. Let's get into this. Same as is back, people. Your goal was offside. We missed chances. We were in third gear. If Jesus started, we would have won 4-1. Hey, big up, Same Yassi. Big up for the super chat, first of all. Second of all, I say it and I say it. You are a poet and you didn't even know it. It reads like a poem. Your goal was offside. We missed chances. We were in third gear. If Jesus started, we would have won 4-1. Hey, he's a poet and he doesn't even know it. Rounds of applause.
I would just say, what if Højlund had started instead of Martial?
Hey, exactly.
It would be in a whole different game. So
exactly. I mean,
right back at you, Zane.
Exactly, Zane. And the only thing I would say to you, our goal was offside from one camera view, and that's the camera they took. But the other camera showed that he was way behind your player. The other thing is that
Zane's not being Zane though. That's the thing. He's not being Zane at all with this.
No. And the other thing is that actually now, Gabriel, the defender, he's part of the WWE. He's the honorary footballer. He's joined WWE because the type of stuff what he did to Højlund was just extraordinary. I have never seen a tackle like that in the box in my life. Never.
No.
Where somebody comes around and grabs you and throws you. Like I said, he's a wrestler now. That's all I know now. From now on, I don't know him as Gabriella. I've officially changed his name to the wrestler. Hold tight, the wrestler. So stay Miasi. Big up for the super chat. Big up to everybody. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Let's get into this. Come on. We've got three of us. There's three massive issues to talk about. Let's pick a topic each. We're going to go in, but you decide, guys. Should we go with Sancho first? It's still his thing.
Okay.
Oh, the Glazers
You're right.
hotline's here already. I guess, seeing as though to coin his words till Nuruddin gets back, we'll probably talk about Sancho first, I guess. I mean,
Okay.
look of fortune, I guess. So yeah, what do you think anyway, Jarvis? With I guess
Yeah,
the
just
recent
keep
sort
on.
of
What's your thought about? Because the thing is, Ten Hag said he didn't train hard enough, and he wasn't picked for the squad, and there came a tweet where he said, "You shouldn't believe what all you hear." Basically, so what does it mean? So what
I mean,
do you
at the
think?
end of the yeah, I think based upon what we've seen in, I guess, the last couple of years, player power's always been an issue at United, but it's always been dealt with in house. It's never blown up into the media in the way that it did with Jadon Sancho. And I can understand his frustration. I can, because I think based upon performances of some other players in the team, I think there is a void there, as he could voice his opinion to the manager and say, look, other certain players ahead of me aren't exactly blowing the league away at the start of the season. Why am I not getting minutes? Why am I not getting starts even? But the thing with Sancho is, I think he's overcalculated what this manager has actually done for him in recent time. Like, he took him out of the spot. Man United's a big spotlight for any player. Even if you're not playing, you still get criticised at Manchester United. It's probably the only club that'll ever happen to you at. But based upon that, he took him out of the limelight for 3 months. He sent him to the mountains off on exile for 3 months and said, look, whatever the issue is, go and sort it out. And we don't know what that issue is. And you know what? I'm glad it's been kept under wraps and it's not blown up. If Jadon Sancho wants to speak about it, then it'll be spoken about at some point. But based upon what this manager has done for him in the past, I think the reaction of what he's taken from Ten Hag's comments, the way that it was actually spoken by Ten Hag, I don't necessarily think it was a major dig at him. I don't think it was like, he's not training hard. He doesn't work hard in the group. He doesn't really offer me much, tactical wise. And he's just not training. He's not trained well this week. So we've basically dismantled him from the squad. I don't think the tone and his actions have been interpreted right. I think really that was primarily based as a motivator for Jadon Sancho to say, look, you might not be in the squad right now, but we have a standard and we need to set a standard across the board. He dropped Marcus Rashford when he was 2 minutes late for a meeting when he went to Wolves. So if he's going to do that, these little things where if you're not training hard enough in a training session or you're not applying yourself within the group, the manager's going to criticise you for it at the end of the day. And I'm not being funny. I think for Jadon Sancho, realistically, I think Ten Hag, I think he's defended players for far long enough. And Jadon Sancho is one of those players where he has defended him. It's an illness or he's picked up a tweak, he's picked up a knot. He's defended him for long enough. So it is time that we call some players out. And he's done it not only with Jadon Sancho, he's done it with Harry Maguire as well. So I don't really think Jadon Sancho's got a case to argue for. Me personally, I think Ten Hag's done really what he's done, hasn't he? I think he's defended him for as long as he has done. And look, heat of the moment, frustration. You've lost a game that you don't think you should have lost because of decisions. You might say things like that, but he's been asked a question, so he's got to answer it. And he's answered it in that way, so be it. But for me, I don't think the manager's really done too much wrong. But whatever happens to Jadon Sancho after this, I mean, I don't know, because the way Ten Hag's track record is with players, even just at Ajax as well, he had a situation with David Neres. He criticised him through his agent, where they put media stories out about him. He shipped David Neres off to Benfica as soon as possible. So, and David Neres was one of his best players at the time. So you can look at it from whatever way you want, but I think the manager's put his arm around this player for long enough to tell you that, look, you need to show me something now, otherwise I'm going to get rid. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Jarvis, let me hear your points of views. I know that you were in the super chat the other day and we disagreed on this, and we might be disagreeing with both of you because I don't pick sides, but I understand why Sancho would have replied, because in modern day football, or even throughout football, the code is always not the player throwing the player under the bus, always keeping it in-house. And all he could have said was he had a knock, and that's it, move on. And then he would have sorted out Sancho and then would have moved him on. But I think Ten Hag's frustrated because the players that he wanted to get rid of, Scott McTominay all of a sudden was sick and now straight away he's in Scotland. So was he really sick? You know what I mean? That's the question. And then you got Maguire there still. So the people that he wanted to get rid of. And Martial as well. And Sancho was in the list. So the original 13 players that Manchester United briefed the whole of the fan base. Remember the whole fan base, and they briefed the whole world about was the fact that they said these people need to go. So at the end of the day, when I look at that and when I think about that, I think he's super frustrated that these players are on. But then where does that blame go to? The blame goes to the high wages. The blame goes to for the amount of money that they were bought for, and the way the Glazers do the contracts. They do it on a spreadsheet. Yeah. So the player that they spend a lot of money and they don't want them to take a loss because that makes their, they call it book value. That's it, book value. That's what they call it. It's an accounting term, apparently. Book value. So that was on a spreadsheet. It will say a loss. But if the player then sees out his contract, it doesn't say a loss. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is how it is. But I think it's frustration. I think Sancho, he's still got the thing up there. And I think I find it really difficult. What I'm getting now is the brief from the football club. So that there's people at the club briefing against Sancho now saying that the other players are thick of him and they're tired of him and stuff like that. I think that would have come out even before this, that there's been fractions between the squad. I think in preseason he looked good. None of us truly know what the truth is. And we know, Jarvis, that managers have had certain agendas before. You know what I mean? They favor certain players, even how bad they're playing, how bad they're training. They'll cover that up and then throw other players under the bus. So that is always to keep the things in contact and to be objective. Now, do I think this would not have been bad? But then was it to distract? Did Ten Hag use it to distract from the result? You know, because straight away after the game, it became, managers have done that before. I remember Fergie, Old Trafford, we got beaten. I think like QPR, he came out and slaughtered the referee, and the referee had a decent game. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Because to distract away, take the pressure off Fergie. Fergie's going in on the ref again, you know, all that was the headline. People forgot about the result. Do you know what I mean? Like, people forget about the result. So managers do it. Jose used to do it. Jose is a classic example of this, that Conte did it exactly. Like, they would use anything to distract from the performance or to distract from the result. And actually, the performance was our best performance. But nobody really knows. Like he said, Thomas laid it out for you all, that he actually went back. And I was actually at that game at Old Trafford when Sancho came on. And Erik ten Hag came to the sideline and literally had his arm around him. And they were both like smiling at each other. You know what I mean? And they're both like, yeah, here you go, Jadon. You've done your thing. There you go. Here you go now. You go and get on that pitch. And I actually think since he came back last season, his performance was not that bad. Yes, Jarvis, me and you have sat here and said, he's a shitbag. He's a coward. He jumps out of challenges. He's one of the most technically gifted footballers, but he doesn't put his body on the line. He doesn't put his body on, like, even like to win tackles, like to win fouls. He doesn't do that. So we've sat here and did that. But I actually think there were memorable performances. Leeds, I remember 2-2. He was phenomenal that way. I remember Leicester. He scored 2 goals that day. Did he score 2 goals that day against Leicester when we put Leicester to the sword last season? So there were memorable moments in games. Somebody said to me, and I said it on a space, and what I said was, big up DJ Paul, by the way. If you want to jump on. I said that on a space that somebody who works at United told me that he's testing him because everybody understands and knows that Garnacho is not ready to start games because Garnacho knows Jarvis and Tom. He knows the other side of football. He knows what it is to have the ball. But in modern football, there's a lot of learning to do on the other side when the team hasn't got the ball. Where are you? Especially for a team that mainly when we defend, when we haven't got the ball, we go man for man. So if one man is free, if your man is free, they're going to create an overload. So that's how it is, and that's how it's working. So for me, do I agree with what Jadon Sancho said? No, I don't. But I don't also agree that when somebody, if that's not true, what Ten Hag's saying, then a player has the right to reply. Yeah. So go ahead, Jarvis. You break it down for me. Big up, DJ Paul. Big up.
I just want to say I can try to be a little bit of devil's advocate on this, just so don't kill the messenger if I'm just trying to make a case. But when I think
nobody's killing no messenger, it's just a healthy debate. Carry on.
Yeah. So you got to remember, Sancho, I can understand his frustration. He haven't played much. He came in like a superstar, 350K a week. He was a big sign-on fee, and you know, he was expecting he was coming home to Manchester to do bits. It didn't work out. He hasn't been performing. He had struggles. We all have heard rumors. I'm not going to say on air what we have heard, but most of you know what happened with him last winter, and Ten Hag gave him 3 months to go away. And he felt like he made his time. He get his head straight. He came back. The last games of the season, he started on the right wing. I would say the last 4 or 5 games, and he was actually good. He was good in those 4 or 5 games. But when we came to the preseason, Ten Hag didn't want to play him on the right anymore. He played him as a false number 9. Of course, Sancho, now he was back. He got his head straight. He was feeling, okay, I can do this. I can finally do this. And Ten Hag just say, you're going to play as a false number 9 because we have no others. I'm not gonna give you a chance on the right wing. He gets frustrated. I don't know how Sancho is, how he is as a person, if he can take this, because it's hard. You know, we are all human, so I can understand him in a way. Even though he's on 350 and he's a footballing star and everything, and everybody adores him, and he has a big entourage, and he has the best things and clothes and cars and whatever, but he's still a human. So I can understand his frustration. And now we come to this. It's been nagging in his head, and finally it burst against Ten Hag. And Ten Hag, he wouldn't take it. Okay, you're out. You're not even in the squad. And Ten Hag outs him after the interview. And the frustration is up to here. So maybe he was talking back because he's been through so much. So I don't want to slag him too much. We got to try to see it from another side. He's a young lad. But I think the best thing, if Ten Hag is a good manager, he will fix this. He will find a way. Talk to Sancho. Because I think there's a player in him. Yeah.
100%. Big up Jarvis, 100%. To me, the biggest thing, if the manager doesn't want you there and doesn't fancy you, then that should have been communicated. But that's what I'm saying to you. Then the manager has got 1.5 arm tied behind his back. Because if he doesn't want the player, it's not his player, it's understandable. You know what I mean? You want to move on, but the way that this club is set up, that can't happen. At the end of the day, I think did Ten Hag own the silence? Yeah, because of the way he treated him last season. So did Sancho not get so frustrated and say what he said? I don't agree with either, because I believe Manchester United should be kept, but I know managers use that for a reason. Big up DJ Paul. Talk to me. How's LA Life treating you, man? You're not in Maryland. You used to be in Maryland, yeah? You used to be in Maryland.
I did, yeah. I moved a couple months.
My memory is good. My memory is good, man.
I used to be there. But yeah, everything is good out here.
Let me just get the super chat. 1 second, bro. Let me just get this. Big up King Cash. Thanks for the super chat, bro. Said the Gabriel Jesus substitution changed the game. He bullied Evans, created space. Time for Rice for the corner. Rice was free from for every corner and got the ball for the final corner and scored. Yeah, 100%.
Which was a foul on Evans, but I'm surprised VAR again didn't check that. So
VAR bottled it, bro.
At the end of the day, people need to put context in some, because when Rice scored, I was like, oh shit, I knew that was going to happen. But at the end of the day, I look back, I'm like, yo, Gabriel pulled down Johnny Evans. I'm like, how is no, it's not even the Hoyland one.
Jesus,
it's the second goal. Like he pulled him down. And I'm like, because I was like, how does Rice, get that much space in the penalty box to chest the ball down and just volley it into the bottom corner? I'm like, for me, I'm just like, yo, VAR had an absolute nightmare that day, because the offside, they didn't really show from another angle. The Hoyland one, it's debatable. I would say, listen, I don't know if it was a penalty or not with the Hoyland one, but sometimes it gets given. But I'm looking at that Johnny Evans, that chance against Johnny Evans. I'm like, that should have been disallowed 100%. So, but I'm not really going to go back and forth. I don't really think we were great on the day, to be honest. It's just, again, the style of play, it's really not there. I mean, people would say, yeah, we did what we did, counterattack, but I want to be more than a counterattacking team. You know, I want to evolve because other teams are evolving. I look at Spurs. You know, a manager can't just walk in through the door and just really have, you know, players just playing, you know, with freedom and expression. So, you know, I just don't know. On the Sancho thing, though, I'll just say, listen, Sancho has every right to defend himself. Like, I feel like what would have made Sancho in the wrong would have been if Ten Hag said he was ill and Sancho came out and responded and said, "Oh, I'm not ill. I want to play," and he's throwing me under the bus and making me a scapegoat. I would have said, "Okay, cool. You've dug your own grave there." But he's just really trying to defend himself, and he's entitled to do that. After all, Anthony has not been performing, and I think you need fresh legs or fresh run out on that right wing. And Sancho deserves a chance, and Pellistri deserves a chance as well.
Yeah, man. Big up. Big up. Listen, that's a Sancho debate done, people. The debate will always continue. At the end of the day, you have to try to see it from both sides. But the biggest thing for me is that why? Why was it said? What was the reason? And if the manager has got good reason, he's in the training ground every day, he's the one setting the plan. If he doesn't rate the guy, I understand both of their frustrations. If he wanted him gone, because remember Jarvis and Tom and everybody, that he was on the original list. Martial was on the list, Scott McTominay.
Yeah.
You remember the list? The big players in the list were
13 or 14 players, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But the big headlines were Maguire, McFred, Anthony Martial, Jadon Sancho. That was the big five. The big five that he wanted to get rid of. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But guys, let's move on to this next story. I mean, you can't make this shit up, can't you? Like, you cannot make this shit up. Obviously, this story's been brewing for a long time. It was brewing towards the end of last season, you know what I mean, in the season, where allegedly Anthony has had a interaction. Well, he had a domestic abuse case, allegedly. We have to always say allegedly, because nothing's gone to court yet. Nothing's been proven either way. And we have to stay to that sense. It's not the same. It's similar. It's similar to Greenwood, but it's not the same in terms of like there is not loads of audio and photos that are. There are some photos, but there's no audio or there's no actual video. So there is slightly different, but it all covers the both. Like, majority of men who kill women around the world. We know that domestic abuse issues is a serious thing. We're all men here, We have to put our hands up, and we stand in total solidarity, whether they be whatever orientation people are, whatever gender they are, who are suffering in domestic abuse and suffering in silence. We stand in solidarity with them, and hopefully they can get out of those difficult situations and get some help. That's the first thing. The second thing for me is that this has been brewing for quite a bit. And for me, for Brazil to drop him, that's when the alarm bells start ringing. When Brazil Football Federation drops him, they pick him, then they drop him. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? I put the tweet out, people, and I was like, does that mean Manchester United have to do the same? Now, Manchester United have made a statement. Jarvis, my internet is moving mad, but can you get up the statement of what Manchester United made and just read it out for us?
I'll try.
Yeah. If you could do that for us, that'd be
just
great.
Talk. I will try to find it first.
Yeah. Let me just get the super chat. He's back. Say me, I say. DJ Paul, Samba Gunners, gun United down. Rice now better than Casemiro, who's out of shape and has the same chef as Fat Ronaldo.
Hey, listen, with all this talk, I hope you guys win the league, because if it's the same scenario as last year, listen, we're going to be having some serious conversations about Arsenal, because you guys, I was watching the Big Six 2 days ago. Turkish was talking about we're not on the same level anymore. Or what we've elevated. I'm like, okay, you have to win something, a Champions League or Premier League. I'm done with all this talk now from Arsenal fans. You have to win something now. If you feel you're better than us, win something. If not, just shut up and go sit in the dusty corner.
I'm kind of in the same boat, really. But I think with Arsenal, it's primarily based.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at a lot of their
100%.
games and thought that they've been
100%.
impressive, really. If I'm honest.
Exactly. Big up. Anyway, this is the statement. So this is alleged domestic abuse that happened in Manchester. Happens parts of it in this country. Some of it might happen in Brazil. And this is after Brazil have dropped Anthony from the Brazil squad. Manchester United acknowledged the allegations made against Anthony and notes the police are conducting their inquiries. Pending further information, the club will be making no further comments. As a club, we're taking this matter seriously with the consideration of the impact that these allegations and subsequent reporting will have on survivors of abuse. Oh, okay. That's how they're moving now. Little Neil Ashton thing there. So they're basically saying they bottled it, so they're not going to drop him because they would have to say that they're dropping him if they have to say that. But they're saying they try to play both sides here. They're trying to say, oh, we stand with, we stand with survivors of abuse and those who are going through abuse, but we're not gonna comment. At the end of the day, if Brazil are dropping you, Jarvis, and I'll stay with you, what does that tell you? If Brazil didn't drop him, I would say, okay, like most of the footballers who are human beings who were accused of all sorts of alleged allegations against them, it goes to court, then the club then decides. But what did you think about that? What is there anything that changed for you when you actually? I'll go to Tom because we come back to Tom. Tom, did anything change for you? Are you there, Tom?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So, actually, I'll come back to you because you've not spoken in a while. So I'll come back to you, Tom. Brazil dropping him, has that changed the dynamic of Manchester United coming under pressure? And by the way, Manchester United bottled it. They didn't come out straight away. They took a day and a half to say this, what they've said. But go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I think it is a bit of a strange one from United. And I know we did a similar thing with the Mason Greenwood sort of situation where they said, look, we stand by the victim in this case and we're going to do internal investigations and everything. And then charges were brought, charges were dropped, and, everything really played out from there. I guess really this is going to show if United have learnt their lesson from what happened last time, because the massive backlash that they received when it was looking like it was going to let Mason Greenwood return, and then obviously they had the U-turn and obviously they've been shipped off to Getafe now on loan. But with this case with Anthony, as you've already stressed, it's allegations. We don't know the full picture. We don't know the story. And I'll be honest with you, I've not actually sent any pictures or any sort of video audios or anything like that. So
there's no video, audio, there's photos. But apparently she's got audio. It's been alleged that she, there are audio.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, this has been brought primarily, as far as I understand, anyway, out of Brazil. It is, I think, and it's really sort of funneled back over here. And there's quote unquote about allegations that's happened maybe in the UK and Greater Manchester Police are having a hand in it now. And I guess from a legal standpoint, they legally probably have to stick by the player, because if they did, as you say, wish to drop him, they have a mandatory contract with him, so they will still have to pay him even if he's put on to, suspension or put him on, withdrew leave or whatever, while these allegations get wrapped up. But from what Brazil have done, I mean, they've taken the stance and they've said, look, from what we know, and they are the people that know better than us and better than probably Man United in this case, because this is their country. They know how the laws work in their country, how allegations and the justice system will work in Brazil. And they've decided upon what they will know, probably is the same as what United have heard and found out. And they've decided, look, you're not going to come a part of the squad for the upcoming fixtures. And, from there, really, we can't, and I'm not going to stand here and say that we're going to pick sides or anything, because like I said, we don't know enough to know anything, really, other than there's been alleged allegations. As you said, she's got, photographical proof and, video audios, etc. And we're going to have to see how it fizzles out from there. But from United's standpoint, really, they've come out and they've said something without actually saying anything realistically, if we're being honest. That's all that they've done. They've just basically just put something out there to say, we are aware of the allegations, but we're not going to do anything about it at this current time. and we're not going to further comment. That's all it is. And if we're being honest, I mean, based upon what the club's actually paid for this player as well, that will come into it with how Man United will think at this. They've invested a lot in this one player. I think they've invested upwards of 90 million euros in Antony, maybe 100 million euros. They invested a lot of money in one player, and then to have this sort of scenario and scandal, this isn't a nice thing to say from United's perspective if the allegations do turn out to be true, but they've paid a lot of money for somebody that it's a risk for them not to play him. You're not going to pay that much money. Even if he's under investigation, you're going to still want to play him. He's one of the manager's boys as well. You're going to go to Erik ten Hag and say that he can't play this player, that he basically broke the bank for at the end of the window. It's not going to happen, is it? And at the end of the day, with how Richard Arnold handled the Mason Greenwood situation, I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them, really, in terms of doing any investigations. They come to 6 months and they still didn't even have a decision on Mason Greenwood. And as you say, Nuruddin, and I'll make this last point, this with the Antony thing, this isn't something that's come out and has been new. This was to the tail end of last season that these allegations were coming out, but they were based in Brazil. It wasn't transferred over the pond to the UK, where then people are understanding how the situation is with the allegations. But now when you've got a football federation that's dropped him of his nation, you've got Greater Manchester Police that want to question him and interview him about this. You've got the club who are taking the stance primarily probably based upon the player, more so than maybe the victim, even if they say so. And you're just going to have this unspiral. But like I say, either they're going to have learned from the Mason Greenwood situation, and if they don't, and they handle this just as poorly, I think there's a discredit to probably maybe a lot of the directors. Something has to be done.
100%. Big up to you. Big up to Rahul Jual, it says. Nuruddin, question, why don't we hire top-class sports psychology for development of our team? Be strong and mentally fit. Listen, Manchester United don't do things that make sense. They don't do things that make sense. Big up, Maddow says she has a restraining order on Antony. Apparently, this is alleged as well. We not got the facts. But Maddow, we'll be talking about Johnny Evans. Don't you bloody worry. We'll be talking about him. Brazil reports say he's been removed to protect him while the investigation takes place. They have not condemned him at all. Okay, that's another point of view. But for me, that's why take him out. You know, when somebody's going through this, he has to be with his teammates, his friends. You know what I mean? Football is the thing that can sometimes help, put good performance, all of these different things. So Brazil have dropped him. Let's not they might not have condemned him, but they've dropped him. DJ Paul, what do you think about that? What do you think about this Antony saga? Well, and would you think he's similar? Do you think Manchester United does Brazil dropping him for you change the? Has that made your ears perk up and go? What
at
the
the
hell
end
is
of the
going
day,
on here?
listen. As much as I feel about Antony on the pitch, when we talk about this scenario off the pitch, it's fair to say that people have to be given as much leeway before people start jumping to any sort of conclusions or whatnot. So I'm not going to personally condemn one side, but Brazil dropping him does kind of make it look very, very serious because now it's like, if you're United, we play Brighton when September 16th at Old Trafford. Do you really not want to risk starting Antony on that day? So it's looking very, very tense now. And there's breaking news now even coming out where I'm seeing that allegedly, and this would just throw us just deep in the gutter, that United apparently treated treated her? Yeah. United.
Manchester United have been accused of covering up Antony's assault allegation by his ex-girlfriend lawyers, as she leaked a WhatsApp message that claims she was treated by United doctors. Yeah.
So if this is true, then boy, we might as well just call it a wrap because I
alleged. We've got to say this is alleged.
It's alleged, but if this is true though, this might just, I don't know. I don't even know what this does for this whole ownership. The people, Richard Arnold. I don't, even Ten Hag now, it would even start looking funny because it's like this now is happening under your nose now. What you can't tell me you don't know about this allegedly if it's true. So there's a lot of questions that need to be asked, and we'll just wait and see what happens. But United, man, we just can't keep away from drama. Like, I just feel like from last Monday till today is Wednesday, I just feel like there's more and more. Like last Monday, I think was the we were supposed to get what do you call it, Cucurella. Then on Tuesday it changed to Reguilon. Then Wednesday reports came out about the 1+1 Amrabat bid. Then on Thursday it was rejected. Then on Friday we signed him. Saturday it's about Glazers not selling the club. Sunday we get beat by Arsenal. Monday Sancho comes out with this, and here we are now on Tuesday talking about Anthony's sexual assault. It's just news after news after news after news. And I will say this too: if we do get new owners, and this is just if we do get new owners, I really do hope that, as well as these Richard Arnold and John Murtough people getting sacked, all these reporters who cover United too, I think they need to be excommunicated. A lot of them. Neil Custis, Samuel Luckhurst, excommunicated from the club because they just report on sensationalist articles just to get the fan base up in upheaval.
Yeah, man. Big up, Paul. Definitely. Big up. Saying says this. Saying says, Højlund is overrated. Nketiah is better. Okay.
We'll wait and see.
Keep dreaming. And then he says, "This is for you, DJ Paul." He says, "We will win the Champions League."
We'll be there. No. We'll be there. We will be there. We'll see it.
I don't know, but Zayn, you are to Manchester United need cheering up, and you've come back to the channel on the best time, right? Mr. Jarvis, Rick Astley, you're there.
Yes,
Talk to me
I'm
about
here.
this. I mean, if this is true, if this alleged here, if this is true there, what's going on? Everybody should get the sack. If Manchester United are covering stuff up, talk to me, Jarvis. Is this alleged?
Yeah, I don't know what do we mean precisely by covering up, because it's their job to protect their players, their assets, and even human beings as an employer. You know, as long as they cooperate with the government officials like police and stuff like that, but they are not obliged to tell the public or the journalists. You know, as we were talking about earlier about Sancho and Ten Hag. So we got to keep that in mind, even though if they have held back vital evidence or protected players, heads will roll in the board. Yeah. So that's just my point. But until we have more information, I will be sitting on the fence on this. I can't say.
What about Brazil?
Either.
What about Brazil dropping in? What does that say to you? Big up Alien Tunnel, by the way. Alien says Lamari sang about United. Never ending story. Never ending story, mate. That's one thing we do sing. Exactly. One thing we do sing though. We'll never die, we'll never die, we'll never die, we'll never die. Keep the red flags flying high. Well, Man United, we'll never die. Come on. So that is a true thing. We're never going to end, man. Never going to end. But go ahead, Jarvis. But Brazil, just specific point. Is the Brazil dropping, did that make you go, whoa, what does Brazil know? Or do they just not want all this drama, this overshadowing the whole kind of circus that the 2 games Brazil are playing?
Yeah, we can only speculate. But I saw someone made a comment about that. So I think that's maybe one reason that they don't want to, going back to Brazil with all this. It could get ugly. So maybe it's best to stay home. And they maybe want to protect the rest of the squad. I don't know what's going on. So it's hard to have an opinion at the moment. But if you want, it indicates it can indicate something that something is going on when they're not letting him stay in the squad. Yeah.
There's something to be it, guys. We've almost 300 people watching. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. That absolutely costs you nothing. At this channel, this is the therapy, and we are getting to the heart of the matter. We are absolute circus. Honestly, we move on from one crisis point to the next crisis point. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. There is, I know that he sat on top of the Stretford end. You know what? I don't hated but never ignored. Hated a don but never ignored. But honestly, that's taking the absolute biscuit. Like 100% it's a medical privacy thing, of course. But if there was actually evidence, alleged cover-up, then yeah, heads were definitely going to roll. Good evening. I hope you're all feeling better after Sunday's thrashing. Oh my God, Arsenal fan. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. People in this country talk about different fans being unbearable. But Arsenal have some of the most unbearable fans I've ever come across. You cheated, mate. VAR, absolutely. It was VAR, 3 points. Manchester United, nil.
They talk like they beat us 5-1 with the way they're getting so. I mean, I just don't understand Arsenal. But listen, it is what it is. If we won like that, I would be over the moon. So I get it. But you guys didn't smash us. It was really a 1-1 game. It should have ended 1-1. It was 1-1 really at the 94th minute. It's just because they've introduced this stupid 11-minute rule that you have to play, which is a joke too, by the way. Why are we playing 101 minutes of football now? It's, again, it is what it is.
Yeah, 100%. United are being like this morning program after Philip Schofield. That's in UK. Jarvis and DJ Paul won't get that. But I'm telling you, they won't get that reference. But yeah, it's madness. Morning television shows. A lot of madness things happened, and that's what we've been linked to. I've heard Man United cover this up months ago, and Anthony's ex-girlfriend. Well, that's the rumors, mate. That's all rumors. That's all alleged. Zero evidence.
We'll just say allegedly, because
allegedly. Yeah, it's allegedly. It's covered up because it's basically said United doctor helped her with a dislocated fake. Okay. Listen, Zane smoking dry dog shite. Listen, Zane is on. He's always on. What is it? Edgware Road. Is getting high, mate. Zane's getting high on that pipe. I always say, Zane. Last season, I said to Zane, "You're not winning a league, so clean that pipe out." And he was that gassed. And the last 2 months, Zane done a runner. I had to send a search party for Zane. I was asking everybody about him. Is he all right? We've not heard from Zane for a while. But big up to Zane. He's always backing his football club, and I can respect that. And at least Arsenal are giving him something to back. Well, Manchester United, well, it's the only game where we turned up, didn't we? It's the only game, to be fair. Jarvis, it's the only team. Am I right? Did we play all right? Was that our best? Was it our best
our best game, without a doubt. We have been terrible.
You could say that, but for me, again, maybe this is just me, and maybe it's asking too much of United.
But DJ Paul, we look like a team. I understand what you're saying, but we look like a team. In the other 3 games, we didn't look like the team. I can't tell you enough. Being in the stadium and watching us, Nottingham Forest, 10 men, dominate the ball for last 15 minutes. I took my friend's son, Sol, we were there. Sol's like, he don't look happy. He's looking at me, he's only 13, looking at me like that. I'm like, Sol, you don't see what? He's like, but we're winning. I'm like, Sol, it's not about winning, we're getting bullied right here. But go ahead, DJ Paul.
I mean, maybe it's me asking too much for the club to play good football. I just feel like now it's just, let's just see what we pick up from international break, because at least we do have 2 players to look forward to, Højlund and Amrabat. So we'll see how that changes our team.
Actually, I'll stay with you, Paul. I'll stay with you. Are you excited? Come on. Tell me you were super excited about Højlund's cameo.
No, definitely, 100%. Like, I like what I saw. In fact, I even wanted to bring it up. Do you guys think we need to change the formation? Because I was looking at it today, and I was like, Anthony's not performing. We don't know what's going to happen with Sancho, and he clearly just doesn't play Pellistri for any reason. So do you think Højlund coming in would work better as a sort of a front 2 with Rashford, and then probably someone in behind feeding him? I don't know if you would play Martial there, or if technically that would have been a role for Sancho, because he could have been like the sort of false 9 in that area, while Højlund and Rashford operate as like split strikers, and then Bruno and Amrabat and Casemiro like your midfield. So 4-3-1-2 is what I was looking at.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I think there might be some games, injuries and suspensions might dictate that kind of formation. But the big thing about him, I just for the feasible for the games, I want to see him as being the central focal point because we've missed that so much. I mean, come on, guys. Like Manchester United have been missing that for so much. Ronaldo wasn't a focal point. Cavani was always injured, so we missed an actual somebody to play off. Tom,
no,
you know what I mean?
It's not even just that though. I think the most exciting thing about this player is just the age profile. Because we're saying this about somebody who's only 20 years old, he's 6'3", he's a physical presence. He's only 20. This guy's going to bulk up to whatever he wants to bulk up to, and height-wise, he's probably not even fully grown in terms of potential-wise. And as we're all saying around like the actual player, in terms of a profile, I think. When you look at your top sort of under 21 strikers in the world, he is probably even in that bracket. And we all said about stats shouldn't dictate a player. Everybody judged him as soon as he came in. He's got 24 goals and he's only 20 years old. He's got 24 professional goals and he's 20. Like, what the hell does that mean? It means nothing. Haaland didn't score that many goals in the Bundesliga until he came to the Premier League, did he? And he scored probably more goals than he did at Manchester City in his first season. It doesn't matter, but basing it on the actual player profile that we've bought, from what we've seen as a cameo, yes, brilliant and perfect. But
that's one of the positives. Can we say that? Can we all say that?
That's one of the positives. Yeah. And you know something? For as much credit as Zayn gives players like Gabriel and Saliba, they were sweating for like 30 minutes against Højlund rather than Martial, mate, who he just kept coming for the ball. He didn't even put his back into him. When Højlund's putting his back into him, I can't remember a time when Gabriel or Saliba even won the ball. I can't anyway in that sort of game environment. But for me, I think it's primarily based upon I want to see a team that's actually consistently playing together. And we're not going to see that maybe till say December time when we have our fully strength 11 back. You have Shaw back and you have all the different players back who play their roles. Until we see a fully strengthened team, I don't really think we can pass too much judgment right here and now. But again, as people have been saying, Amrabat and stuff, it's a perfect signing. I think it's perfect that we have him now because I don't want to be going to Munich where if we're going to have to play Maguire and whoever at the back, Evans, Lindelof, whoever. If we're going over there and we're playing that. Listen, put Amrabat, put Casemiro, put Scott McTominay, put all three of them in the midfield. Seriously. And I'd seriously shut the shop up.
If Maguire and Evans are at the back, I'm going to be watching that game like this.
I wouldn't even watch the game.
You wouldn't even watch it, would you?
Jarvis, I'll come to you. Right,
yeah.
Amrabat N. Big up to you on Man UFC Realist TV. Big up to the Mick. Go and check out Man UFC Realist TV. You had the scoop. You guys had the scoop on this one. The Italian journalist came. He waited. Amrabat, talk to me about Højlund. That's that cameo. You want him to stay central to get used to being that vocal point so the players can play off him, bring that physicality. Obviously, he's a fellow Scandinavian, what I mean, a Scandinavian fella. So you must be proud to see that another Scandinavian playing for Manchester United, leading the line.
We're getting used to the Scandinavian strikers in the Premier League, I must say, at the moment. We have had a lot of them. And even historically, we had Torjan Defoe, Solskjaer, Jon Carew. We had Stefan Iversen at Spurs.
Yeah, I remember those.
A lot of strikers. So we have
young,
a lot of...
Young Fjortoft.
Yeah, Fjortoft. Yeah. So we had a lot of strikers, but I think Højlund is special. But I have watched him a lot for the Denmark national team, and they always play a 4-3-3. And they have wingers, like old school wingers, who goes around and feeds him in front of the goal. So he can drop down, he can interchange with Eriksen, because Eriksen is in the 10, and they have Damsgaard and I think it's Poulsen on the other side.
Yeah.
And they're old school wingers. So, and when you see him play for Denmark, he looks like Haaland. He's really, because he has so much pace, he comes in front of the goal and just smash the ball into the goal. So if we can utilize him that way, it would be great. But our problem is we don't have like old-fashioned wingers. We have Pellistri. He's the only one I can think of who goes around.
To be fair, Ahmad's quite good. Ahmad's almost kind of a winger, kind of a number 10. We have him, you know, we have him. To be fair, when Garnacho wants to go and cross it, he's good at crossing as well, to be fair. When he wants to, but he always wants to cut in and be greedy. So it's that thing. But definitely the team gets used to it. What are you thinking about Amrabat? Are you excited to see those two? And can you tell me your midfield? Can you tell me your midfield three? For your Jarvis's best 11, just give me who you think is the best chemistry three in midfield.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot though. But as I said, I've been looking at Denmark too, just to see how Eriksen plays with Højlund, and Eriksen in the 10 is actually quite tempting. If you have Eriksen, Amrabat, and Casemiro, I think that will be a very strong midfield. But then what we have to do with Bruno, put him on the right, because he don't have the pace to go down to the line and cross the ball in. He can cross the ball, but it comes from the deep. So. I'm not sure how Ten Hag is going to set up this team, but I see Højlund dropping down, creating a lot of space and binding up at least two center backs. So it would be a lot of space for Bruno to run into and to run in behind, and even Rashford. So let's see how he will set up his team. But for me, I actually think the strongest is Casemiro, Amrabat, and Eriksen at the moment.
Wow, that's fascinating. DJ Paul, who's your three in midfield?
It's the same as Jarvis, because that's the most balanced. It's the most balanced midfield. It's the most balanced midfield. To be fair, Eriksen is very good in the 10. Amrabat and Casemiro has like the physicality and the defensive awareness as well in midfield, and we wouldn't really get ran through and be caught on counterattacks. So it's better than having Bruno and Mount, who are pretty much the same as each other in that midfield. So
big up, I am the truth, but I'm sorry, that's a massive generalization. You can't make that generalization about Brazilian players, and sorry, I don't agree with that at all. But big up, it's your opinion. We just don't agree, because that's a massive generalization against the whole nation, and we don't condone that. But big up to you. Tom, your three in the balance. Who are you going for?
I'm agreeing again, to be honest with you. I think what you said about physicality with Casemiro and Amrabat, I think it suits well. And I also think, really, when I look at it as, say, DJ Paul's just said, with Mount and Fernandes, they're pretty much identical players, realistically. That's how I would see it. But I think maybe Mount might get about the field a bit better than, say, Bruno. But Bruno's got the better pass in his locker. But for me, if Eriksen doesn't have legs, I would stick him in the 10. Stick him in the 10. He can put the pass through. We saw it at the weekend with the goal that we scored. Brilliant pass through. Albeit he didn't have the legs to run the ball 30, 40 yards up the pitch. But if you can pick the right pass out for somebody to run onto it, it's just as good. So for me, I think if we're looking based upon, as people say, we want control in the midfield, you have Amrabat and Casemiro as a holding block. You're not going to get bullied, like we've been saying. You're not. It's just not going to happen. Physicality will match any other team as a pivot. But again, he spent so much money on Mount. I fail to see how he's not going to use him in this team. And you're probably still going to see Fernandes, Mount, and Casemiro, when all three of them are fit and prepared to play. You're still going to see that, unfortunately. And Amrabat is just going to be used as that utility player to come in, just as much as, say, the McTominay and Fred was from, say, last season. But if I'm being honest, if we're picturing up at Munich, Anfield, the Etihad, I'm playing what we've just said. Eriksen, I'd play Eriksen, Casemiro, and Amrabat. Because I think that's the most balanced out of the midfield options we have right now.
Well, I'm going to shock you with my three. Are you ready? Big up. Listen, let me just big up. Where is it? Nick Nash. We'd like to say thank you for all the laughs and jokes and all of the good performances and all of the warrior tactics. Eric Bailly is officially left Manchester United and left a beautiful message to Manchester United fans. So big up Eric Bailly. Thank you.
Wish him all the best.
Yeah, wish him all nothing but the best. And then most importantly, we wish him good health. He stays fit and he enjoys the last couple of years of his, of his career. So big up to him. He's no longer at the football club. We also like to welcome Amrabat. Welcome to Manchester United, Amrabat. Big up to you for being patient. But you ready for my 3? Are you ready for my 3, people? Are you ready for my 3? My 3 is energy. I've literally gone for press, and I've gone for technical ability. I've gone for who can keep the ball, who are not going to treat the ball like a hot potato. So my 3 is this. It's Amrabat as the number 6. It's Kobe Menu as the number 8.
Mm-hmm.
And drum roll, please. Boom. And I've gone for Mason Mount as just in front of them as number 10. I know some of you are thinking, what the hell? What are you talking about?
That's not
the
crazy.
Reason why? Do you know the reason why?
Shout.
Exactly. You know the reason why I'm going for that? I do not expect any of them to be outworked physically. All 3 of those players, in terms of physical output, and actually they can take care of the ball a bit more than the rest. And I would give, because genuinely, the only position I can genuinely see in this team where Mason Mount can play is where Bruno plays. Definitely Eriksen. I 100% understand that. In certain games where Manchester United would have the ball, I would definitely put Kobe Manu next to Amrabat. And I'm telling you now, Tom, we will have another meal on it if you want. But Amrabat ain't coming to sit on the bench after he waited 3 months for Manchester United. Go ahead, Jarvis.
I just got to say, one of Amrabat's biggest weaknesses is his aerial abilities. He never wins duels. He's not a tough dueler when it comes to headers and stuff like that. Yeah. So if the opposition hoofs the ball, he usually loses 90% of his duels. So we got to keep an eye on that. And I think he needs someone beside him like Casemiro, because Casemiro is actually good in headers. So I think I can't actually see Amrabat playing in the number 6 alone. He needs something beside him.
Yeah, I'm just saying to you, like, headers is part of it, but teams like to play out from the back. Majority of teams, they don't hoof it up that often, other than set pieces. Yeah, so set pieces, it could be bad, but most teams play, and you've got so many 10, or everybody comes back, and you got zonal marking, and then you got the 50-50. So at the end of the day, I'll say it's simple. I don't think Amrabat is coming to sit on the bench. I think Casemiro, I think partly it's his form, partly he's good. I think we need to give him a rest. I think we need to take him out a couple of games and save him. And kind of like, I think he's at that stage, me personally. He's not the quickest player. I think it's time we pick the games. And I think he might play more in the Champions League games because of his experience. And the game's not as fast in the Champions League. But yeah, get in the chat, man. Show me, people. Show me. Casemiro, Eriksen, Amrabat. A lot of people are agreeing. Amrabat, Bruno. Amrabat, Casemiro, Bruno.
I think that's more of the one he'll go for. The Bruno, Casemiro, and Amrabat one.
Yeah. Yeah, big up. Let me just get this super chat. But yeah, I just doubt that is going to happen. Big up, John A. John A says, Amrabat, Cas with Eriksen up front will be our best mid-combo big game. Bruno can be used when he plays again. We play against the lower teams. I actually think that, but I don't know if he's going to be dropped. But he should. Yeah. This is what I'm saying to you, Jarvis. Nobody in this team should be guaranteed any start.
No.
Nobody, not even the fucking captain. Everybody's position should be on the threat. And to me, 100%, because I know Eriksen's not a midfielder. He's a number 10. He's more of a number 10. And in the number 10 role, I think with this team, especially if you put legs around him, if you had Kobe and Amrabat around him, legs, they can run all day, then I can see him balling out. You know what I mean? I can see him balling out. Yeah.
I just want to. I made the presentation yesterday on the show. If I can show it, Nuruddin, is it okay?
Yeah, show it, of course.
If you just take it up, yeah. So this is the best midfield trio. So the alternative one was Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno Fernandes, as you can see in the midfield, and the other one was Casemiro, Amrabat, and Mason Mount in the 10, and the third is Casemiro, Amrabat, and Eriksen in the 10. And of course we have the fringe. We can play against weaker teams like Eriksen, Amrabat, and Fernandes, and the last one Eriksen, Amrabat, and Mason Mount. But I would say the three first one is the most likely. If I can go back, this is probably Ten Hag's preferred lineup with Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno Fernandes, because he won't drop his captain. Let's be clear that he will play as long as he has legs and is not injured. And I'm not sure with Mason Mount. I haven't seen him enough in Chelsea to say that he's a good number 10. But what do you reckon, Nuruddin, with Mason Mount? What do you reckon with Mason Mount as a number?
I think we've got to try him there. Listen, I don't listen. I like I said, question mark over Onana. I didn't want that. That's my Onana. I will not sign Onana. My preference. I will not sign Mason Mount, but they're here now. They're Manchester United players. So I personally believe Mason Mount is more of a better high energy, high output number 10. He's tactically astute. He's good at. He's not going to be like headless like Bruno. He's more tactically astute than Bruno. And I think that's the reason why the manager bought him. And I think he looks after the ball a bit better than Bruno, 100%. I think that. I do think that. But that doesn't mean that I rate him. I just think energy, and when he's got also tactically and defensive responsibility. He understands, like, to cut out the passing lanes. Like, you can see my arrow there. If you can see it, can you see it? When I'm with the cursor,
no,
I'm doing what I'm doing.
We can't see it.
Oh, okay. Can't see it. So it's all good. But basically, what I'm saying to you is that where Eriksen is now, Mason Mount can move up and down. He can cut out the passing lanes. He's good at on the press trigger. Then Bruno, I believe he's that. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But big up to everybody, love and light, and we will see what happens. But yeah, Alien Tunnel says 3-4-3, Casemiro, Amrabat, Matt, Bruno, midfield. Wow.
Yeah.
Going for that. Okay, going for 4. So who's going to have the pace?
I wouldn't be surprised if he does do that too as well. But my issue with that is Bruno and Mount are pretty much the same player. So that means you're relying on Amrabat again to take on a lot of the midfield responsibilities. And I don't know if that would work.
Yeah. Big up Khalid from Medina Chivetta United Real Therapy. He says Amrabat and Casemiro are more balanced pivot than Mount and Casemiro or Eriksen and Casemiro. And 100%. We understand that. But for me, definitely, I think when the game's slower, sometimes this season when I've watched him and I've watched him live, the game's become a bit too fast for him, Casemiro. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, let's hope it's just a bit of fatigue. It's not fitness. He doesn't start the season properly. It could be those things, but he does not look sharp. And having that Amrabat coming in is a big thing. And I would try Kobe Manu. I know that Kobe Manu, I said he's a young player, but it's just that he's technically gifted. He can play as a 6. He can play as an 8. He can play as a number 10 as well. Like, but that's in youth, the youth level. Can he do it and step up and show it to do it at the highest level? That's going to be the question. But people, it's been an absolute pleasure. We've chewed the fat. I think the last topic to come to, do we know anything about this? None of us are bankers, but $600 million or pounds were wiped off the New York Stock Exchange of Manchester United. I don't know where to start with that. Does it mean the value of the club? Has it just gone down by a couple of notches and that can do that? Before the sale talks began, I remember it was at 12 and now it's at 19. It's come down from 23. What are we reading into it quickly, Tom? Can we read anything into that?
Really, it just means that based upon the rumours that have come out, all of the traders and the stockbrokers have taken a lot of the shares from United and they've been selling up. That's what they've done. They're not buying shares, they're selling them at the end of the day. And based upon the news that when it came out that the Glazed family were maybe wanting to stay and things like that, and it looked like they were gonna, but based upon now that we've realised that nothing has changed and you still got a process open, both parties are still engaged within the process, but based upon what we know from the stock market, when the value of the share goes down, it means the value of the asset then goes down. So based upon how the stock traders value United, they might say at one point are valued at $3.5 billion, but say because they've lost say £600 million, or let's just round to say 500, it means that the overall valuation through New York Stock Exchange values the whole asset at $3 billion. So then the share price per share that you buy obviously automatically has to come down based upon what it's valued at for per share. So effectively, on terms of how it works for the stockbrokers and the stock exchanges, it means that they're recently off of the rumours, maybe what's happened with the Mason Greenwood situation, Anthony, these sort of things. People are wanting their money out because they're not expecting any sort of a sale. That's what it normally means. But, and I guess to back up my point of what I'm saying, when it was looking like that Sheikh Jesse Morsi, Jim Ratcliffe was going to buy the football club, the share price has skyrocketed because everybody was buying in, so then that they would get bought out within the sale. If you understand what that means, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So effectively, they would make money because they want to buy in when they get sold, so they'll get bought out. But because it doesn't look like that's going to happen, they want to pull their money out because they don't feel like they're going to get anything in the long term, or at least not right now anyway. That's why. But the stock market really,
it infatuates, to be fair.
It inflates the prices. That's what it is.
Yeah. Big up Man UFC Realist. Big up Mick. He says you guys are missing the point. Bruno will roam with 3, with Amrabat as the number 6, Casemiro as the number 8, and Højlund will be the vocal point. I think I understand what you're saying, but I just genuinely, there's 2 players that at the moment I'm just sick and tired of. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just want them to see them. I just want to see different squad like Bruno or Rashford. I just want to see Manchester United play without Bruno and Rashford and see who else can fit in the different roles. You know what I mean? I want to see that. Am I bad for wanting that?
Nah, that's the same thing that I really if I'm doing my 11s, I don't include Bruno in there because I'm just like we have so many better players than Bruno. I would have even liked to see Donny van de Beek, but his his United career is over. He's not even in the Champions League squad, so I guess we could close the chapter on that. But Bruno and Rashford, I feel like we need to look for other players who could play in those positions, you know?
Yeah. Jarvis, I'm not saying that. I understand both of them are brilliant players for Manchester United, but actually watching games on Manchester United, they just mean the constant fixture. As a fan, I just want to see something different. I want to see different dynamics because we shouldn't play them both to death anyway, but we do every season. Every flipping manager plays them to death, and I don't want that.
Yeah, I see people get frustrated by Bruno because I think he tries too hard sometimes, and by trying he ruins for the others. He just like every time he tries the Hollywood pass and he loses possession, he drops the ball, and that's a big problem because. But I don't think people really understand what Ten Hag's want to do, because when we attack slow from defense, we attack slow in the midfield. But when we are attacking in the last third, he wants it to be explosive. We are not Ajax or Barcelona with Pep in 2010. He will try something different. So I think in a way Bruno suits Ten Hag and what he wants to achieve with his team, but I understand the frustration, but because it would be better just to pass the ball around and establish the attack as we see Manchester City do. But I don't think that's Ten Hag.
Yeah. Now, big up everybody. At the end of the day, to me, the biggest thing is that I just want them both on the bench for a game or two. Like, think about, honestly, I was so disappointed with Bruno as a captain, him rolling around, losing 50-50 challenges. I was really disappointed. And yet another big game where he's missing. Another big away game where he goes missing. I mean, did you see that, Jarvis? Or have we got an agenda against him? Or where was he on Sunday?
He had a bad game against Arsenal. It wasn't his best game, but he had a great game against Nottingham Forest. So, it's one of those. And when you had a bad game, it's easy to be a little bit extra critical, but he's one of our best players, and as long as he can play in the number 10, but I think as long as he will have more freedom, he needs more freedom. That's the thing. if you have a double pivot with Casemiro and Amrabat, I think it will give Bruno more freedom to create. So,
Well, I'm
so
hoping
maybe
to
we
see this
maybe we'll
freedom.
see the better from him.
Well, I'm hoping to see this freedom. Big up Khalifa Medessa. Manchester United have paid 900 million in interest due to banks following the creation of the debt since they took over the club. Actually, big up Kieran Maguire. He actually came out and said they give themselves. So they give Manchester United, by the way, the Glazers. I knew this, but I forgot that they actually give themselves dividends, but they also take management fees. Well, do you know that, people? They also take management fee. What are you managing? You're not even here. What managing fee are you getting?
And they put all their expenses on the club. You remember when they came to the FA Cup final? Private plane, private everything, big hotel, top suite. So the money is like from the club.
There you go, people. There you go. Don't be surprised if you see Omari Parson on the bench come on games against lower ranked Premier League teams. Maybe, but I genuinely think Ahmad to get a chance. I really want to see that, especially now what's going on with Sancho, and maybe something's going on with Anthony. I think Pellistri and Ahmad deserve to get an opportunity. Once Mount recovers, he gets match fitness and gets sharp. Watch Bruno get dropped in certain games, especially in the big ones. Wow, okay.
I'd be shocked to see it happen because he's giving him the armband. So
yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, big up. Garnacho showed more intensity and intent than Rashford. But yes, 100% Man UFC Real TV. But he can't start games yet. He's got so much learning to do. And I'm his biggest fan. Garnacho. But off the ball, absolutely, especially with this style of football we play with Erik ten Hag, we can't afford to carry somebody, passengers. But we carry him, honestly. Off the ball is the biggest thing in modern football. Where are you off the ball, positioning-wise? Where are you? Are you cutting out passing lanes? Are you pressing in a certain thing? We can't carry passengers because we play man for man. That's what Erik ten Hag is. That's why he needs intense fighters of the football pitch. He wants fighters. And that's Jadon Sancho is definitely not a fighter. He might be a lover, people. He's definitely not a fighter. To me, what I saw, what disappointed me was like Manchester United captains rolling around other than fighting against in a big game. I don't need you to roll around, man. I need you to get up and fight. And I want you to be better quality on the ball. So you can come for me all you want, all the Bruno stands. I just don't want to see him and Rashford being played to death every game. I don't want to see that. I want them taken out. And I want Casemiro taken out as well. That's what I want.
Yeah. You are completely right. You are completely right, Nordin, when it comes to we play man-to-man when we press. And we did it in the first half against Spurs. That was brilliant. We won the ball high up the pitch a lot of times because of the man-man press. And we can do that, but we need the right players to do the man-man press. And it's very exhausting, and it demands a lot of energy and intensity. So it's about to find the right mix of players to play this way.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, big up. But we can be the future. We can at least use a 20-year-old Højlund and Amrabat, our new signing. We can at least look forward to those two being integrated into the team. We can look forward to hopefully Licha. I would never have let him go to Argentina. If you're injured. So is Lindelof as well. Lindelof as well. You're not going to fucking Sweden if you're injured. You both came off the game. You're both staying at Old Trafford. We're going to examine you and you're going to get fit for the next game. I'm sorry. I'm not letting you go. And Johnny Evans, nothing fucking tells me, and I'll never stop saying this. Everything you need to know about what your football club is that last 10 minutes, Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire.
It's comedy.
Paul, I know that it was the foul, but Johnny Evans is twice the size and twice the strength.
No, we lost the game because when I saw Maguire coming on, I was like, I think we've lost this game. I already said in my mind, I could actually.
Did you hear the Arsenal fans? Fans cheered him on. They were singing, "Oh, Harry Maguire."
Yeah, that's why
he had the biggest cheer, like he's the World Cup winner coming on the pitch for Arsenal.
When I saw him come
honestly, the Arsenal fans were like, "Why?"
When I saw him come on, I was like, this game, I think we might have blown this game because I can already see it being a sucker punch, and that was what happened. You know, and for me, it was just we kept defending deeper and deeper and deeper, and it was like, you know, had Martinez and Lindelof not gone off, I don't think we concede those goals. So it is what it is. But I'm pissed that I'm seeing them now. I'm seeing Martinez on Instagram smiling with Argentina. I'm just like, why is this club letting all these players go on international break? Why are you letting Højlund go on international break? He just got back from injury. Why are you letting Lindelof go? You said he was ill. Why are you letting Martinez go? You said he had a knock. Like, why? Personally, I wouldn't let anyone go on international break, even the ones that are fit. I wouldn't let anyone go. You take a rest or whatever, or you report back to training on, was it Wednesday, and we prepare for the next game, you know?
I agree,
crazy.
100%. But isn't the rules that you can't
piss us off? Wow. Big up Alien 10 for the super chat. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, I was just talking about the rules of football. They can't deny players going to the national team, or can they? Or they can fake injuries.
Yeah,
if
they're fit, they can't. If they're fit, they can't. But I was disappointed that both of them came off. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? And apparently one of them was sick. Lindelof was sick. And I'm like, and then it looked like serious, because I'm like, Leach is a warrior. So why is he going off? Why is he going off? Did he have a little niggle? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And to me, both of them should not be there, and they should be sent back. Big up. Nuruddin should be on the sideline. Oh, trust me. Oh my God. Man like Nuruddin, big up, man. Listen, all love, man. I'm from East Africa, bro. So I don't even believe in the borderlines. So it is what it is. But love, of course, my ethnic tendency is Somali, yeah. And yeah, I love everybody. Me, I love East Africa. I love everybody within East Africa. But yeah, my heritage, I am. I'm not gonna, run away from that. But I'm not here to choose whether Somalia or Somaliland. I'm not about that. I think there's a bigger picture, massive bigger picture in this world, man. And I don't even believe borders between African countries, because they're very new to us. They're only old as 1884. Go and do your research, Karim. Go and look it up. Listen, the chat is broken. I don't know what's going on with the chat, man.
Okay, Nuruddin is out. I can see the chat. It's working.
Yeah, I can see it too.
So, what do you think will happen when the national games are off and they are coming back? How many players will be injured?
That's the thing. And I'm just like, we could have just done ourselves a favor by just really, I don't know, just with Martinez and Lindelof, especially, those are our two fittest center backs right now. We should have said, no, they're not fit. They can't go on international break, and just call it a day. Now they've gone. Now they're now at risk of being injured. Well, technically, anyone who was going for international break now is at risk of being injured. But I wouldn't have let those two specifically go. So,
yeah, Neil Ashton is getting me tonight. Mick, I just only saw your DM just now, bro. I just only saw it. If you want to jump on for 10 minutes quickly, and then you can say some things, do that, no problem. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's simple, isn't it? Neil Ashton keeps getting me tonight. Honestly, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Nuruddin, I might have to jump off. I might have to head off.
Yeah,
right?
But big up.
No
big
problem.
Up to you, bro. Big up.
Yeah,
bro.
Thanks.
It looks sunny in Los Angeles, man. It looks sunny.
Yeah, we're about to have
big
a good day, so we'll see.
Yeah, man.
Right,
big
Peace.
up, bro. Big up. Peace.
Big up.
Thank you for your contributions. Glazers interrogating Nuruddin. Nah, mate. They're definitely not doing that. Merto incidentally Nura's internet. You've been glazed. That's a new one. You've been glazed. Oh my God. But big up to everybody. Love and light. Please, Moshe, make sure you go and check out DJ Paul. And I always forget his handle. So it is at WF. Let me just get his handle. 1 second, people. It's DJ Paul. Yeah, DJ Paul 703. So go and check that out. If you want to see him, go and check that out. DJ Paul 703. But Jarvis, listen, I apologize for Mick for me, because I didn't see it, because I was concentrating too much on the show. I don't check Twitter all the time. Big up to you, brother. Thank you so much. Nuri Wi-Fi Glazers moving like Glazers. Yeah, man. I'm telling you. Is Amrabat going to the AFCON? Yeah, he could be. Yeah, he's training. I saw footage of him training with Morocco already. Lionel Scaloni and Lissandro. Leach has suffered a foot problem. He's had surgery a while ago, and his last game, he felt discomfort in that area. We have done studies, and he's fine. Yeah,
that it worries me actually when it comes to Leach, because it's the same place as his what they call it, the metatarsal bone. No,
metatarsal. Yeah, metatarsal. Yeah,
metatarsal. So it's the same place. So
yeah.
And they say it's an injury that you never get rid when you first got it. So it's hard to. We will always constantly be pain from that area. So we should be. You should be a little bit more cautious, I think.
No, 100%, 100%. Listen, there's nothing. I promise you now. This. I don't hate people, but I hate the Glazers with every fiber and bone in my body. Listen, Jarvis, big up to you, love and light. Amrabat playing games. Right here comes Mick. Mickey, oh Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Oh Mickey.
Hey, guys.
Oh, Mickey.
Sorry, you caught me eating an ice cream here.
Hey, no problem.
How you going?
Listen. Whatever it takes to get over the Manchester United woes.
Oh, come on! It's been Black Hole Sun Week. Listen,
what is it? What flavor is that? What flavor is that?
It's on Bon Gelato, some with the white chocolate with almonds and some strawberry inside. It's yummy. It's from Lidl. It's amazing. Listen, guys.
You might have to take a photo of the box, and
I will do that
if they have it in the UK.
I just want to say something. Have you noticed football and money at the moment? Right? Have you noticed the UEFA, FIFA? They're creating more leagues, more matches, and no wonder you have injuries galore. Right? We played the World Cup in the middle of the winter. We played catch up 3 days a week. And now we had 4 weeks of break. And now the repercussion is that you have a lot of injured players. What about player safety? Where's the union there in the matter? Like, I heard you guys speaking about the club should put their foot down and say you're not going. Because basically you're getting paid by the club. You're employed by the club. They pay your wages. So they should be able to say you're not going.
But there's some new FIFA rules in it. Like, they have to have the medical to see if they're fit. But at the end of the day, to me, if a player said, you feel sore there, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, most players want to. I can imagine Leacher. There's still Argentinians are living off the vibe of the World Cup. They're forever like living off that. So he wants to jump on the flight. But yeah, have you seen the photos? Caught offside, Mason's girlfriend, Gaddafi Stadium, focus supporting fans, quick to back it. Listen, at the end of the day, it's what it is. Mason Greenwood is no longer a Manchester United player, and we're not going to talk about him. But listen, we wish him, his family luck. Like I said all the time, I always said that. We wish him, we believe.
Wrong time for an ice cream. I know.
Yeah.
Lidl have the best ice creams. Absolutely spot on. I mean, there's a brand called Bon Gelati. Hang on, I will bring you the box. Do you?
Yes, we want to see the box, man. Get the box out. Get your box out. Get your box out.
I would love to eat ice cream. But actually, after I was in the US for 3.5, 4 weeks, there's so much good food and so much like greasy food in the US. So I had to go on a diet afterwards. So now the last 3 weeks, I've been only eating like meats and greens. And I'm actually I've been taking off like 4 or 5 kilos in 3 weeks. I haven't been doing exercising even.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I threw away the box, but you can see this one. Can you see Bon Gelati?
Bon Gelati, eh? That sounds Italian, eh? That sounds Italian.
It's amazing ice cream, to be honest. It's the best ice cream I've ever had. It's from Lidl.
There you go. I like my ice cream.
Yeah, I got to put it back in the freezer. Hang on. Otherwise, I will eat it all.
In a minute. You'll be bringing it out in a minute when we go. Jarvis, talk to me. How was your trip? Quickly, just quickly. Give us 2 seconds. How was your trip to Poland? Polska.
Oh, it was great. It was a business trip, but it was a good time. A lot of dinners and a lot of social. But if you haven't been to Krakow, I would recommend you to go there because it's a beautiful city. You know, it gets old cathedrals and churches and beautiful place. We went down to the salt mines. Actually, they were digging down from the, I would say, the 1600s, because salt, mineral salt, was more worth than I would say the same price as almost gold. So they were selling it, and the workers worked there from they were 16 to they retired, and when they retired, they got 3 kilos of salt, and that was their retirement. Yeah, and they could sell it and live the rest of their life on three rocks of mineral salt.
Ah, crystal salt.
Yeah. So beautiful and interesting city. So I would recommend you to go to Krakow if you have the time and chance.
Listen,
Beautiful.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You've got to go and check it out. Neil Ashton's after me tonight. He's after me. The internet is going absolutely. I just want to say big up. Sorry that I didn't see the message earlier. Love and light. Enjoy your ice cream, guys. Big up to you both. And yeah, Amrabat is here. Let's hope some positivity. I really, the only positivity I can take from the shit show that's been the first 10% of the Premier League, it's been Højlund's half an hour, Amrabat signing, and hopefully let's see what we do. But
the only positive we can look forward to, Nura, is basically knowing that we have Kobe coming back. We've seen glimpses of Højlund being the focal point, something that we've been crying out for. We have Amrabat joining in the squad. As I mentioned in the chat before, like I see Amrabat playing more of the CDM role, the number 6 role. Jarvis Crystal, yeah. But regarding the,
that'd be interesting. That'd be good, interesting to see. Yeah. Denmark
regarding
tomorrow, everybody's watching Denmark tomorrow.
Yes,
everybody's watching Morocco.
I just want to mention something that Madhouse also mentioned in the chat. He's been watching Brazilian media, and also regarding the Anthony story, it was actually him that dropped out himself rather than Brazil dropped out, because he took himself off by the advice of his agent as well. It wasn't Brazil that dropped him. That was in Brazilian media.
Yeah, well, it's crazy for me. Manchester United bottled it, so it is what it is.
Another positive news as well.
In the period. Say that again. Go ahead, Nick.
And another positive news that came out today from Gazzetta dello Sport is that you know that Brazilian striker we were talking about, Marcos Leonardo. Apparently, we're going in for him in January because we couldn't make all the business done, and they didn't want to release him in this summer window as well. So we're going back for him in January. Would you like that?
Great news. That's great news. He's a fantastic player. Looks good.
Right. Listen, the internet's going mad. Big up to you. Big up to the chat. Big up to every one of you. Love and light. Let's just quickly jump out of this. Mick Ruby, Man UFC Realist TV. Jarvis Cocker, Man UFC Realist TV. Jarvis Cocker, Bowley 77. Go and give them both a follow at Mick Ruby and check out the channel Man UFC Realist TV. They had the suit for the summer. They had the suit for the summer for Amrabat.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, this stream was not sponsored by Bon Gelati.
No.
Mickey's gonna run now back to the freezer to get that second ice cream out. He's doing it. He's going for it. That's what Manchester United.
How did you know?
He'll drive you to ice cream at midnight. But it is what it is. Peace, love, light, always. Win, lose, draw, glaze us out, bank us out. Big up, Nick Nash, and we'll see you hopefully. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow for the Red Rival talk. Peace, love, light. Take care, people.
Peace.
Peace.